Hello, this is a track breakdown of song coming out on the new album Akachi Nika. I'll just I'll play a little snippet, but we're gonna go through this song. I'm probably not gonna edit this, so um you know just some idea that I had. It's going to be very loud, so I'll turn this down a bit. Pretty cool. It kind of repeats the same idea, but we're gonna go through it. This is part of new album called The Amazing Electronic Orchestra Made of Glass Pets, which I am not finished with. But I did want to make this video just for the sake of, let me turn off stereo because it's actually really annoying. Just for the sake of just to kind of give some content and kind of give a little explanation of how I make these songs. I think it's kind of interesting. I remember somebody told me how does one even produce this song, or how does one even make something like this? And I mean, it's fun to share. Usually with my song making process, first I'll start out. Usually with my song making process, I will kind of start out with chords. I know it's not the most insane thing anyone's ever heard, but I'm going to, let's see. The thing is that okay, FL Studio actually just crashed on me. That sucks. Sorry, let me open that back up. What I was going to say is, yes, I started with chords. Typically what I like to do, or what I did in this case, is that there's a kind of distortion, or what's really called a bit crush, or plug in free squeeze. I have a filter on here which kind of brings out some of the frequencies in sound, but so at this point I'm going to just put this on pattern. And if you notice, it's kind of like an untraditional or unconventional time, or it doesn't sound like 4/4. I mean, you certainly can. It's like 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 1. It's really hard. So really, this song, you notice, is the BPM. It says 262 on top, but it is really in time 7/4 or 7/8. Or it's ideally in 7/8. On FL Studio, it's weird. Everything's kind of, you can't really dissect it into eighth notes. So what it's basically, it is 7/8. It's grouped in 7/8. Realistically, it's like 7/8 141 BPM, but I had to kind of change things around. So if you'll notice, I'll do this again. You'll hear 7, and then the bar will reset. So you'll hear 7 beats, and then dud dud dud. And the way with that we would count this in like the music sense, it's like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, which kind of you'll feel the groove of the chords a bit clearer here, and I'll just play it. One two one two one two three 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. If you notice on that last part, the groove switches up and it goes 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. It's very important. It kind of marks the end of each bar here, and kind of something I did, so you'll hear. On the other note, where we just introduced a new element of the song. This is our first arpeggio. I don't know if I did two. Yeah, I did two. So this is our first arpeggio, and I you know, with this new style of music I've been trying, I think arpeggios are a really good way to kind of build character onto the overall sound. And if you notice, I'll turn off the metronome. Just kind of feel the groove. I mean, it's very like. And oh, I forgot to mention, I do sound design on these synths. So let's check out the Vital one, the Vital PST. Yeah, that's what I use for sound designing. I do have Serum, but at this point I didn't. So yes, then I think it's a. So it's a on basic shapes. Basic shapes. I'm gonna turn these off for a moment. If you'll notice, kind of interestingly, it is it's kind of going through the waveform here, where it's changing shape, and it's mapped to this envelope, which opens up the wavetable, and I believe it's also mapped to a filter here. Kind of gives more character. Oh, that's interesting. You guys can't see, you cannot see Vital for some reason. I guess I might. Huh. That is bizarre. Let me try something. Well, this is better. You're not going to be seeing, you're going to see the taskbar in the bottom, but that's okay, actually. We can kind of fill that out. Yes, but as I was saying, we have our main oscillator here is mapped unison 8, detuned, so it kind of gives more depth. 8 voices, phases on just default Vital setting, and then like I said with the wavetable, you change it. It kind of it changes like the shape of the oscillator, changes the shape of the waveform, and you know, gives a different character. I have a filter here, and these are all mapped to an envelope. The other envelope is just, and you know, this is mapped to the overall volume. Nothing too insane. It's pretty simple. And then effects wise, we have chorus to make it sound more full, compressor to kind of give. It's just for mixing. You know, it's not as clear of a sound, but it's like. And then over here I have a small delay. It's actually off, funnily enough. I kind of like it on. That's not in this normal mix. You know, just a little reverb. And it's, you know, it's just overall just to give little bits, make the sound fuller. And you know, I'm not gonna probably go as in depth at everything, but this is the main sound you'll hear. Arpeggio, kind of give, you know, there's a fun tool in FL Studio where you can take any chord progression that you make and kind of fill it out, or use like a tool arpeggiator, and that'll, you know, make the structure. So I often like to use that. I think it gives, you know, it kind of, you know, it speeds up the process of making it, but also just really easy way to, you know, make these elements. And yeah, more complex 3, just a preset I made a while ago. Kind of interesting sound. Compressor and reverb, nothing too crazy. So something I like to do with mixing, I've been using cymbals more to move the transition. Honestly, it gives a lot more tension to move on to the next thing if you're ever, you know, building the structure of your song. So if you notice it leads in really easily. It's fast, especially if you have a kick right on the downbeat here. So for example, we have this. Oh, that's not it. We have our kick drum here. And you know, it's simple. I use Soccer Burst for most of my sample packs, but we have this cymbal and it goes boom. And you can kind of feel the groove moving already. There's something, you know, this is missing from the original mix. I'm just gonna add it real quick. So yeah, you're starting to hear more going on. Like I said, yeah, the kick drum kind of 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. It's a little syncopated, and so it sounds funky, but honestly, it's like that is the whole groove of the song. It's like you can't really latch on anything. Oftentimes, you kind of have to like boom 2 3 boom da, da, like right in the downbeat. That's like if you're ever trying to focus on the song, it's like one. You know, I usually group it in each bar. I kind of I'm like, you know, if you're like bobbing your head to it, you can't go like 1 2 3 4. It's got to be like it's difficult. It's a very challenging song to latch onto. I think that's why I like it so much. And yeah, we have this. We have our kind of hats going on. I don't know where I came up with this, but it is. Oh, I remember. So if you'll notice, it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. That was exactly. I wanted to kind of give away that groove right there. Interestingly enough, though, it kind of switches on this part when it goes 3 2 2. So it's still just to help you kind of you hear it, kind of get onto or latch onto a part of the track. If you notice, like if we didn't have that, it's like impossible to you know really find a groove. This doesn't do anything yet. Fortunately, I think this I didn't think about it, but it kind of leads into the melody too early. Here we just add kick drum and 808, which it's just it's a whole tone. It's just like I think it's probably at C. I don't know. It's from the sample pack, but if you notice, it kind of adds a lot more depth to the kick drums. So if I'm trying to highlight something or highlight a specific beat, so I actually really like adding kick drums to layer or 808s to layer kick drums, because if you layer kicks, it kind of becomes like too much. But this is another way to add. It's a lengthened part because the original kick is very like shallow, so it's also a good way to move the song along. You don't notice, and then the kick drums 808 comes in, you hear it moving along, and then so you hear our melody coming in. I'll hear it too. Kind of fun. So, and then, yeah, we bring it in with the synth here. Kind of visualize what's going on here. It's really, it's not too complex, but it's I think this is really what carries the song. You'll hear it, the song will grow, it'll grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and you'll see her have that kind of pounding. It's almost screechy in a way with that particular synth. Very sawtooth, noise, brown, chippy kind of. It's abrasive, and but it's there's no filter on it, so it's really, like I said, it's just an abrasive sound. It kind of, it's interesting enough. You pitch that up, it becomes a lot easier on the ears. And just add a delay, kind of, even things out. What else? I guess I accidentally layered the chords here. And yes, and start introducing a sub bass in, which, I mean, like, really, it does a lot to keep the song feeling thicker. Especially for, we're moving on, so the song is evolving here. And you just hear it all come together. Then we drop off. I think it's important to kind of leave a bit of breathing room. If you keep adding and adding, it's going to, you know, I do this a lot with my songs, but if you keep adding and you never have that moment to kind of like contrast the low between the high, you're gonna notice it's like, you know, it's not as impactful. So, and in the piano melody finally comes in here. I think it works the best. I think I had it automated to here before to start growing throughout the song, but if you notice, like, just it decreases here. Nice texture. With the piano. Then the 808s come in. And the snare's kind of keeping the rhythmic heartbeat going along. And then the groove is back to normal. You'll notice we don't have 808s in this part. Moving on after this part. Because they're still growing at this point, we haven't hit the this part. And this part's really fascinating. What I did is I chopped up the chord, arp, or the arpeggio, and the melody here, and especially with the chord and arpeggio, you can hear, and they kind of like a call and response back and forth. If you just heard, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. If you just heard the chords here, it'd be like da 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 da, and then the arpeggio. And it like I said, it contrasts, you know, I guess you could say the drop's about to happen here. And then the melody. It's very sporadic. The sub bass is there consistently. The point is just to have something holding, and then the percussion's where like you build up that you know, you build up the momentum to reach the drop. So interestingly enough, the cymbal starts here, cymbal drops. So very fascinating. I just really like how it sounds. I think it was an accident, and I just like how it sounds. And then cymbal grows, cymbal, and then, you know, I'll get to there, but I do want to take a look at all this percussion here. So it starts up with the cymbal, quiet, and then grows. And if we notice, we kind of chop up here. I just wanted to, every element has stops right on this beat. Like, there's not a single bit of new sound coming in on this one part. A second cymbal comes in just for layering. 808s. And then the kicks come in. So really it all comes together with this really nice sounding I guess breakdown to hit the drop. And then cymbal comes in. What else do we add? Okay. In this part, what is that, a secondary synth for the melody, I think. So it's kind of like a counter melody here, kind of just giving layering, more chords. Interestingly enough, there's a symbol here, or I guess a symbol that I guess really the point is to kind of mark the end of each bar. And then we have obviously hi-hats here to kind of give percussion more, like, make it fuller. Melody. So we'll go through the percussion here. And then kick drum. We have that kind of marching symbol starting to come together. 808s is what brings this all together. It's tough, and 7/8 really it's not really easy to find or have drums that are this, I think in my opinion, pretty groovy. Just kind of get the rhythm going. Sub bass, melody, arpeggio. Really, and you notice the chords are what brings this full length. We have high, low, and then mids. That's what's really bringing us this thickness to the mix. And then here's the interesting part. We kind of give a little breakdown for a second, which I do use later in the mix. Really, you'll notice that this is like, it's just a moment where it beat switch up. Typically, boom. And gosh, let's see. Triplet, and then boom. It's not long, but it's just enough to kind of switch things up. Melody comes back in. I didn't even notice the melody comes in first as like a lead in. And then these two snares kind of round it up, kind of clean things back up. Melody's the same for the next couple bars, so I can play through. Pretty cool, pretty freaking cool. Next part, pretty much the same, but what we do, we add a secondary ARP. Not really an ARP, I just call it that. So it's like another counter melody. And then a looks like, I think the cymbals get louder here. Maybe not. Pretty much the same, just adding that new element. Risers. Oops. Risers, and then we'll move on to the breakdown section. The original piano melody here. Second ARP kind of drifting off. Sub bass, arpeggios keeping up this chord progression since you don't have the original chords. Some percussion brings the rhythm back in, and then kicks the cymbal. Really, it was simple. I was just relayering everything back up, and then coming up, just traditional build up. I didn't really bring a riser here because I don't think it was necessary. The last part was on this build. Last bar. Let's see. Add so we have melody. We have both piano melodies, or we have the piano melody, the secondary ARP, the sub bass, the first ARP, not really secondary ARP, but the secondary melody, the arpeggio, the main, or actually this is the counter melody, and the main synth melody, and then you'll notice everything drops, cymbal comes in to give a moment to breathe, and we hit back with the bass just coming in with the 808, so it's pretty strong. And if you'll notice, the counter melody doesn't come into the second loop of this. Here's another important note here. The kick drums, they're not the same. Instead of being on kind of a little syncopated, it's triplet, 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 dut, 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 dut. And then we have another switch up, but this one's more important because you'll notice the groove changes. And then the 808s change, I think. And we'll include the switch up here. Same switch up, but it changes the groove. Kick drums are back to normal. The secondary art coming in, it's growing up louder and louder. There's a new symbol coming in here. And interestingly enough, it doesn't fit the groove. It's pretending it's in 4/4. So if you add the other kind of clashy symbol, it's weird. You'll notice as it gets louder, it becomes more noisy. The point was just to get a clear indication of the second loop, and then build up. Riser comes in. Get more noise, more tension. And then cymbal comes in. Slurps everything up, as I like to call it. And then piano chord progression. And then it's halftime, and then ARP fades out. So there you go, that's pretty much the song. Went through all of the elements. I'd have to say, if you're interested, if you're excited for this album, let me freaking know in the comments. Let me know, dude. If you watch all the way to the end, you're pretty cool. If you're, someone who's subscribed to me, and you're pretty cool, and then this was in your recommend and you decided to watch this, then wow. All the way to the end. But that's it. If you want me to do more like this and kind of explain more tracks, let me know. And it probably won't be as rambling. Maybe I'll edit the next one. But if you like this, let me know, and could do more. Akachi Nika, out now on Spotify and Bandcamp, and actually not on Bandcamp, but it's on all the other distribution platforms. Amazing orchestra, our amazing electronic orchestra made of glass pets, coming out this summer. Stay tuned for a frickin' date. And if you're hyped, just let me know in the frickin' comments below. As always, take care and see you next time. Goodbye.